Aviation student, we are now continuing our previous topic, that is the handling and storage of aircraft, and in today's topic we are going to study about the towing. We have discussed that in handling and storage we do different kinds of operations of aircraft. Out of these operations, one is the towing. Dear students, it's often necessary to move an aircraft without starting the engine, for example, to position it servicing or to enable passengers or cargo to be loaded. If this operation is not carried out properly, severe damage can cause to the aircraft. If it is necessary to entertain untrained or inexperienced persons to help move the aircraft, the person taking charge should instruct them thoroughly before starting, so that they fully appreciate what they are required to do so. In towing, we would study about the so it's the movement of aircraft without engine running. Now we are going to study about the safety related to the towing. Experience, what kind of experience should monitor or enable to monitor or supervise the towing. And the authorization related, what kind of authorization should be authorized to the people who are taking part in the towing procedures. Aircraft maintenance manuals, tug equipment, personal and positioning, each and everything which is related to the towing would be discussed in this. Here is a picture of an aircraft. In this picture of an aircraft, you could see that a tug is attached with the nose wheel of the aircraft, and a note is written that minimum ground clearance calculated for aircraft at 537.00 pounds and 19% from the CG, means to say that it's the clearance of tug from the central gravity point, CG point, should be from 90% of the whole procedures. Here I want to elaborate that this is the place where we could attach the tug, which has to push the aircraft, which has to take the aircraft to a certain position. Dear student, towing would be of two types, that is of a light aircraft or a heavy aircraft. This is now what we are going to study about in this part of our study, that is light aircraft. So every aircraft which is below 5700 kg, that would be a light aircraft. So handling, we need to tow the light aircraft with care, with steering arm. I would tell you about what is the steering arm. Some people called it the steering bar as well, steering arm as well, and towing bar as well. A tug means a tractor. Hand push, if you are pushing it with the hands, it means that is a hand push operation. Always use the right equipment. Here you can see that an aircraft is being towed with a tank, so it's not a proper way. If you are having a tug or a tractor recommended for the towing of an aircraft, that should be used, means to say that everything is not acceptable for the towing of an aircraft which is having a power. So always use the correct equipment for the towing purpose. Now I am going to tell you about the correct towing equipment as well. If you are manually pushing, then manual push. If you are pushing with the towing arm, then that should be a towing arm with that a towing handler, a tow truck, or the prime mover or tug. That could be a tow truck, prime mover, or the tug. Towing light aircraft. Handling position. What we have not to these are the positions where we have not to where we have not to push an aircraft. That is the trailing edges, control surfaces, rudder, and the propeller. Use approved marked areas which are approved by the manufacturer or the operator and of aircraft, or which allow the maintenance manual allow the positions from where you can push an aircraft that should be used. Here is a position. You cannot push an aircraft from the propellers. These are the control surfaces. These are the control surface. You have not to use these control surfaces for the pushing of an aircraft, but you can use the undercarriage, you can use the wing roots, you can use the wing tips for the pushing purposes. This is the manual tow bar. Some examples of the manual tow bar which could be used for the pushing of an for towing of an aircraft, towing of a light aircraft, not the heavy aircraft or the commercial transport aircraft. So these are some examples. Here is an example by which we can attach the here is an example that where you can attach the towing arm or the tow bar. This is another example of a towing bar. A man is attaching a towing bar on the nose wheel of an aircraft, so it's the correct way. This is the manual towing of an aircraft, and this is the example. Here we are using a tug tractor for the towing of an aircraft which is below the 5700 kg, so that could be called as the light aircraft. These are the towing machines. And towing machines could be used for the manual towing, so that could also be a helpful tool for the towing purposes. This is a towing machine, and I have chosen some of the approved for Cessna aircraft. These are the approved Cessna aircraft towing tractors or the tugs which could be used for the on a Cessna aircraft. This is a towing procedure adopted by an airline for the commercial jet aircraft, which is obviously more than the 5700 kg. So this is a position where you have locked the long nose wheel of the an aircraft. So there are some techniques which are related to the pushing of an aircraft. Always push backward. Always push backward from the leading edges. Struts, always use the flat hands. Strong fittings should be used for the pushing of an aircraft, and these are the valuable kind of information related to the pushing of an aircraft. So always follow these instructions for a better pushing of an aircraft or a better towing of an aircraft. Aircraft movement, turning circle limits are there when you are turning an aircraft during towing. Always ensure that there is a turning circle limit mentioned in towing JGs, job guides, or the towing manuals, which should be in your mind that this aircraft or this nose wheel has a so much turning limits, so you have to follow that instruction. Control locks. There are some nose wheels where there are manual locks. You have to remove these locks before starting the towing procedures. Raise tail skid. There are some aircraft which are heavier from the tail, so there are some tail skids or tail supports attached to these aircraft. Before towing commences, remove these tail skids. raise these tail skids from the ground. Propeller in horizontal. Always your propeller should not be in a vertical side. It should be in a horizontal way, so that it could not be a harmful kind of position, in a harmful position. Aircraft, when you are towing an aircraft with a tug, always ensure these things, that the correct tow arms are attached with the nose landing gear. Brake person is trained, and he knows that how to operate the brake of an aircraft. Your tractor driver should know that what is the safe speed, and he should always follow the rules and regulations related to the aircraft movement with the tug. Now, if there is some kind of obstacle on the way where aircraft has to be moved, these obstacles should be cleared from the way. And the man who is sitting in driver's position in the tug tractor, he should know that what are the turning circles limitations. If he would move the more than the turning circle limitations, it could break any part of the landing gear, nose landing gear. So it could be a very fatal kind of things for an aircraft towing. Ground conditions should be well. You are the position where you have to tow the aircraft should not be so soft, or such kind of position should not be there that aircraft could be indulged in such a way, in such a situation that where it could not be turned back in a smooth manner. This is a example of different kind of link. Here is the cable, and this is the attachment of cable. This is a yoke, and the captive bolts which kept hold the positions. Now, why we do such kind of towing procedures? Because we move in or move out the aircraft from the hangar. Tow bars should be labeled as to aircraft type, that what type of aircraft can be towed with that particular tow bar. Tugs are marked as to rated maximum load, that how much weight you can. Here is an example that this tug can tackle 15,000 pound. So the maximum load limit for tugs should be in your mind, and if it's not in your mind, always consult the TO for the correct guidance. A post-tow inspection should completed of aircraft. If you have completed the towing, always inspect, and you should have a brief view of an aircraft, that is it all okay. For aircraft pushes, the rear area must be inspected before movement. If is there any hurdle or obstacle which can result a fatal kind of injury to the aircraft or the personnel, you have to move that. A written job hazards analysis should be completed for aircraft towing exposure. Till the time what we have studied, that was related to the towing of a small aircraft, but now we are going to study about the towing procedures of the large aircraft as well. Dear students, those aircraft which are more than the 5700 kg maximum takeoff mass, these aircraft would be called as the large aircraft. Now the movement of the large aircraft with a tug need to have certain kinds of the safeties which should be in the minds of those people who are managing this towing operation. They should know that the correct towing arm is to be used for the towing of large aircraft. Brake person should be trained that he has to manage the brake in a good way, and he know each and every aspect of that brake. Safe speed. He need the man who is in the on the driving seat, he should know that what is the safe speed for the towing operation, and if is there any kind of obstacle on the way of aircraft, that should be removed. Turning circle limitations should be known to everyone who is participating in the towing procedures. Ground conditions should be well for the towing operation, so it's need to be good for the towing operation. Large aircraft movement with a tug. Tow arms, break off limit, and shear pin or bolt. Both should be there. There should be a shear pin or bolt installed, and break off limit. Brake should not be there before the towing commencing. This is a typical tow bar, for the towing of a large aircraft. So it's very strong. It's having a position to hold the aircraft, and a position where a tug could be attached to this tow bar. This is a typical tug tractor profile, low profile aircraft tug, means to say it's not so high, so that could be called as the low profile aircraft tug. It is typical aircraft tug which could be used on the different commercial airlines. Push out tugs. This is another push out tugs which is mainly used for the small aircrafts and sometimes for the large aircraft as well. This is another example of towing tug, or how to attach the tow bar with the nose landing gear. Tow bar less aircraft handlers. So as far as the tow bar is concerned, tow bar for every aircraft is a unique tow bar, but there are some tow bars which could be called as the universal tow bars, but it's not so familiar in the different airliners. They use a particular type of tow bars for a typical aircrafts. A tow bar less aircraft handler should have a front wheel drive, rear mounted cradle, and the scoop and a gate. This is a cradle, this is a scoop, and this is a gate. This is the gate where you can attach the aircraft. Now, tow bar less aircraft handler, selected aircraft type, and raises cradle by the 20 less or more than 20 centimeter. Weight on nose wheel. The thing which should be in your mind, that where is the CG of the aircraft. If adverse fuel distribution is there, if engine is removed, the cargo loaded, and the maintenance manual, the ballasts are there, maximum towing weight, you need to have all these things in your mind, and you should know that where is the CG of the aircraft, where it lies. So you have to have an analysis of all these things, because the movement of all these can shift the center of gravity of an aircraft, and if the movement of the center, if the position of the center of gravity of the aircraft is changed, so at the same time the towing procedures would be have some changes. This would explain some kind of that this is the positions. This is the mid center gravity point, means there is the CG of an aircraft, and what there here is some now with this all is ended, and I hope you have liked our today's topic, and thank you very much.